Alright, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh to all the brothers. Yahweh Shem Alatan Ba'ashim Yahweh to all them sisters. Alright? This is the ICPK out of 1 West and 25th Street, Harlem, New York. That's where we originated. Started in 1969, teaching that so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians. Alright? Caribs and Iraqs, as you know them on this side, are the true biblical lost 12 tribes of the children of Israel, written in the scriptures. Jacob's 12 sons and the descendants, which are the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel today. Alright, and rightful rulers of the earth. Okay, this is the ICPK Trinidad and Tobago branch. Alright, and what we'll be going into today is the Spanish Inquisition and the Encomiendo system, which directly affects us in this area of the world, of this in the Western Hemisphere, so to speak. Alright. So what we're going to go to is the science, the maths of what the Spanish Inquisition was all about, right? How we learn Christianity, Catholicism, and all these different so-called belief systems that's supposed to govern the world and the righteousness, right? But of course, of late, or what is not talked widely enough, is the crimes and the actual origins of the system and what actually take place or what coming out of it, the fruits of it. All right, and then you can measure it up and see, according to the Bible, if this is righteousness, if this is the way we're supposed to be living, this is the things that we're supposed to at least allow going through our communities, right? Or we need to depart from it and separate from these entire systems. And what the Lord is talking about when He's talking about separation, what it means to be holy, what it means to be righteous, what it means to be upright. All right, so without further ado, let's go into the Spanish Inquisition, all right? Give me 1 sec as you're pulling it up. All right. All right. I'll read and then I'll forward the thing and you just read like the second going on, right? So I'm gonna touch on a little bit of things just as I read the first part now.
You're reading the first part?
Yeah, read the first part, right? No, 1 sec, no sec. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Right. So the Inquisition was a powerful office set up within the Catholic Church to root out and punish heresy toward Europe and the Americas, right? Now this is what they're talking about here when they said that they was established to root out heresy. But when you look at their system altogether, or you pay attention to one thing that they're talking about, right? They say the office was set up by the Catholic Church to root out and punish heresy. Heresy is supposed to mean lies, right? The things that go against the Bible, the scriptures, right? But now we're going to examine what it is they're talking about and what actually is heresies, right? And what it is that they're saying they was established to root out, and let's see if that's the actual truth, all right? So, beginning in the 12th century, look at the time, right? The time period when they begin. This is known as the Renaissance period because us as a people was ruling Europe for 1,000 years, around about 1,000 years, if I'm mistaken, right? Through what you call the Dark Ages, right? So, within that period, and continuing for hundreds of years. Now, pay attention to what they're saying, and as they go about, now you'll examine what it is they was doing for hundreds of years, and how we end up with this type of system that we have here today. All right? The Inquisition is infamous for the severity of its tortures and its persecution of Jews and Muslims, right? These are the people that they were so-called going against to shut down or to root out, right? I sent a message, right? All right, let me slap it. Let me try it on the next one, right? I got a copy. Let's copy it, right? Let me read that again. The Inquisition is infamous for the severity of its tortures and its persecution of Jews and Muslims. Its worst manifestation was in Spain, where the Spanish Inquisition was a dominant force for more than 200 years, resulting in some 32,000 executions. Always when the victors of history or the person that control history, always remember, right? By the fruits you shall know them, and obviously they would never point out the things that they have done which is evil. They would never have said, they would never do that. What they will always try to give is some type of excuse or reason behind the destruction of our people. That's for a case in point. Just to bring it up to modern day instances. You find in the Middle East. Why is that? Why do you have all that turmoil and all these different things? Why do you have turmoil right now going on in Venezuela? Right? For all the oil and all these different things. Go down to the brass tacks of it. Go down to the base level of it and examine it. Why have all these things and they going on? And for what reason itself? If you go into the actual history and see what was taking place in Venezuela and between the uprisings and all the what you call it, all the I wouldn't say misunderstandings, but Venezuela not giving America the control of their oil, of their land, of their resources. The same thing in the Middle East, right? So what you would find over there is always a conflict going on back and forth, but never the actual story, because on this side of the world, they hide it through the media. They would never tell, they would never say that the Americans and them was provoking these people, or they had Osama bin Laden as a CIA operative before, and all these different things. They would never tell you the actual story. What they would give again is reasoning, or some type of reasoning that would tell the public or the people that they could control, right? Which if they control the masses and could say this is what it is, or what it is we'd like you to think, obviously people would run with it, because not everybody will go and do research or have the opportunity or was brought up to actually do the digging and find out the actual research. All right. So coming back to it, the script, the history saying this is a credible source. Remember, this is the History Channel here, right? So history.com. It's saying its worst manifestation was in Spain, where the Spanish Inquisition, right? That's the name of the title. You follow? The Inquisition, but it's the actual Spanish Inquisition, because it started in Spain, right? And was dominant for more than 200 years, resulting in some 32,000 executions. Now, execution is talking about deaths, right? But we're going to go and see in between it what was actually happening, right? The first part here now that they're talking about who was the opposition, or the so-called heretics, right? Was the what they call Catharists, right? The Inquisition has its origins in the early organized persecution of non-Catholic Christian religions in Europe. Catholics would have fallen under that same degree. If you look up the definition of Catholics, you would see something like people that believe in the stars or some kind of thing like that. There's some different type of so-called religious belief. But anyhow, you will take it, what they call in heresy is not according to what the Bible is saying, which is correct. But they are not doing what the Bible is saying. You follow? Because look at when you go down lower on, you'll see the method of operation. You want to pay attention to that. The method telling you what it is, the intention they intend to do, basically. Right? Because if they didn't go down a proper road to go and find out if this is this, right? And then bring it back to the table, bring it back to a judgment system, and then assess it like that. Obviously, you understand, is a wicked intention. Right? And that's what we have today. That is what we're facing today. That is why you ever find that when you hear the stories come out with the raping of children, the boys and the girls, you never find there's a public or in high society, you never find that type of uproar as opposed to somebody thieving $1 million out of the government. Let them thief, you understand, $2 million out of the coffers of the highs of people that have a voice in society. And you would see the uproar as opposed to a child actually getting like their life. You understand? You take the child's soul when they rape them. You understand? They rob them of the innocence, which is a sacred thing. You follow? They come like you murder the person according to the scripture. That is the same thing you would see, and we'll go into that a little bit later on, right? So, in 1184, remember this is the same 1200 century period you're talking about here, right? So 1184, Pope Lucas III sent bishops to southern France to track down heretics called Catharists, the same Catharists. Those efforts continued on to the 14th century. For 200 years they've been doing this, right? During the same period, the church also pursued the Waldensians in Germany and northern Italy. In 1231, Pope Gregory charged the Dominican and Franciscan orders to take over the job of tracking down heretics, right? Just as you would see today, you would find that they have the police system and the army system and all of that, but what they are doing actually is some false image that these people and them are breaking laws, and that is the trap in it. So what they're setting up here now is they're saying that these people and they are being a a danger to society, because being a heretic now, what you would teach basically is lies and untruths. You teach this society to be an evil society. But what happens now when evil society now is saying, or have control, have dominance over society, and now they're saying that, what do you call it now, right? That these other people that have different belief systems, whatever the case is, right? And plus they have the ability to say true all the numbers. But look at the countries that they're talking about here, right? Remember in the Renaissance period, in the rebirth period, when they now coming back up to power, all these regions is very close regions and very densely populated places where they have people of power and different kingdoms, right? Like the cousins and they. So the same race, the same Caucasian race would have been based in Germany, based in France, based in Italy, because they want to project that same mind, just like in America. If you look at it, right? And a perfect example is the interview that happened with Commandant General Hanna the other day, right? He's the leader of the nation. If people from Russia and France could come, and follow and put that on their TV stations, and then the Russian and a famous television host, you understand, which is a Russian, came to have an interview and actually had an actual interview with him, it would say that they could recognize that something is off with the American system, the way of the Caucasian doing it on this side. You follow? Right. So you want to pay attention to these things, and it's the same system that they was trying to continue to formulate, and that's what they end up doing on that side, right? So during that same period, the church also pursued the Waldensians in Germany, northern Italy, all these territories where Caucasian people dwell, because they want to put it forth. This is the mentality, this is the mantra that we're going towards, right? We're going to destroy our enemies, because we were ruling at that time, and there was some semblance or some form of righteousness, because this is our constitution, this is how we just live by, right? Even in a broken state, you find out people trying to go to church, and they're trying to do things, at least some people trying to do things upright as best as they know. But here's the problem. The people that don't want righteousness on the face of the earth, by the fruits, you would see it, they don't want you to understand how to actually live righteous, and they can't actually teach you to live righteous. So they'll only try to put a figure or give everybody, or the earth, right, the other races and us other people as well, they try to place in the people's minds that these people are incapable of running a righteous society, and we are the only rightful people that could do it. You follow? Because these people are savages, they're uncivilized, and all these different lies that they told about us as a people that come across here and what you call colonize or so-called civilize the people on this side. All right? Go down to, you're going with the job of inquisitors. Slaki. Babu Gisha. All right.
The job of inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
Inquisitors would arrive in a town and announce their presence, giving citizens a chance to admit to heresy.
Mm-hmm.
Those who confessed received a punishment ranging from a pilgrimage to a whipping.
Pause right there. Right? So these people come into your town. Imagine somebody come into your neighborhood, right, and saying, hey, I give you a chance. Right? It's either you admit to heresy, which you even know what it is them talking about in the first place, because they're not even speaking your language. When they come across here, you're speaking Spanish, you're speaking tongues that we didn't know. The scriptures tell you that. Right? And history would also back it up and say, these people would not understand exactly what they're talking about. So you come like you telling me, you come in and speaking to me in French, I don't understand that. Are you telling me I now kill a man down the road? And then you come in to charge me for that. I say, tell him, hey, you follow? Hey, and it give me some tap too now. You know, like them wicked police and them, it takes some tap and go down the road. You follow, we taking you on a pilgrimage, we taking you and a trip. Like how black people talk sometimes. You find that I'll carry you for a run. That's not going on here. I said they either carry you down the road and they try to do whatever it is, whatever demonic thing in their mind to do, that is what they're going to do. Right? Or admit to heresy. So in other words, you have no choice but to say, well, it's either I die, stubborn and say, but you don't die, or for this, you understand, or you better kill me, or, you understand, they admit to it. And many people in the weakened state, especially living comfortable. When you're in rulership, you're going to live comfortable. That's right. To a certain degree. You understand? So now you're off your toes then, in terms of how strategic and how quick you're supposed to be about certain things. Because you're not accustomed to that type of hostile environment happening right through. So imagine this, you understand, when you're in that kind of place, you know, and then you have to go and try to understand what really taking place. So it come like they wake you up out of sleep with a cold bucket of water. And that's what taking place, you know. That's the mindset you want to develop. and looking at what the historical records talking about, and they exalting themselves as something righteous and good. Go ahead.
Those accused of heresy were forced to testify.
Right.
If the heretic did not confess, torture and execution was inescapable.
Right. So if the people and them did not confess, torture and execution was inescapable. And they ain't talking about, you're going to tell some about 100 lashes and things like that. Here's the torture they're talking about here. Like go up to the top. Right? Watch out the torture devices here now. Right? 10 torture devices used by the Catholic Church in the Inquisition. Right? So look at the history on it. Of course, they record the details. Pay attention to this. They'll always try to make it seem like it was not a racial instance. Like the situation or what it is they done was to their own people, just as they try to say that they have black and black crime. If also they try to play it down, of course they will always do that and not bring out the actual atrocities of their people. Also try to seem like their people are so noble for standing up, like they even had a fighting bone in their body. When that wasn't the case. What they're doing right now is making sure the whole government shut down and they give back the slaves what they take from them. You follow? We're supposed to be getting justice for all the rapings of our mothers and sisters, all the children and them. We're supposed to be getting justice for that. They're supposed to be paying for counselors, for psychology, all these different things supposed to be happening. If that was the case, if they had a fighting bone in the body, if they was upright, right? Read on, because a quick instance is we fight for Mandela. When Mandela was going through the thing, whatever the case is, we fight for them, not knowing that we're in African. Right. You understand? We will run down to support this one and that one. We name before they kill him in this place. This man who financed Abu Bakr. Gaddafi, and Saddam Hussein, and then we always fighting for somebody, but nobody is fighting for me. Yeah. You understand? As a race, we need to understand that, and that is what the Lord telling you. In the first place, you wasn't supposed to make no covenant with them. You're not supposed to trust them because they're not about your good. You understand? We don't know, right? You can see this back, Bishop. Slap, yeah.
In the 12th century, torture became an integral part of all capital legal proceedings. Right. Also, it was often practiced by the Inquisition in most European countries in cases of heresy, blasphemy, adultery, and many other similar crimes against God. Right. Besides common means of torture like beating, suffocating, and burning, the Roman Catholic Church used others, more depraved ways of extracting confessions and execution of its victims.
Right, let me see if I can best bring everything in English stream. I am not stream in my eye, you understand? Right? So the first one you have here is the rack. Right? This torture device, slack, go ahead, my bad.
The rack. This torture device was often used by the church in Middle Ages as a quite effective way of confession extraction. Torturers would strap their victims across a board, bounding them by the ankles and wrists, and then turning two wheels on each end in opposite direction of each other to the point where dislocation of every joint occurred. Besides regular one, and even gruesome version of the rack with a greater light surface going under the victim's back was used for heavier offenders.
Right, so they had version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You understand? Different versions that they wanted you to suffer under that thing, right? So here what the rack look like. Well, slack here. See what the rack look like. So the bounding here, right? Somewhere at the bottom here, your foot here, and your hand here, and they twist and they turn anything in the opposite direction. So what would happen basically? You understand? Like your hand was thing up here. They tie up your hand here, and they pull on the both sides until the joints on the inside get dislodged. So dislocate all the joints. They pull it out of socket itself. I say, imagine this come out here, so let's come out that place. Same thing. All your foot and them coming out that place same time. You follow? You ain't gonna live through that. If you live through that, it's better you die. You understand? For real. Alright, the next one, Salakia, go ahead.
2. The stock. The stocks are 2 large wooden planks used to keep victims' ankles, sometimes applied to the head and wrists also, locked in place. This was an outdoor public punishment where the subject was a victim of both the weather conditions as well as the acts of spitting, kicking, defecating, and urinating of anyone willing and present.
You understand? So, what it is they defecating and urinating on anybody have to do with justice. You follow? Which Negro, Latino, and Native Indian people in history used to do that? You follow? On a public scale and do these kind of things. You follow? This is the actions of our base people. This is when our people actually really hate you. This is what they will do to you. You follow? And without cause, because we're talking about this heresy, blasphemy. When you talk about that category, right? And I wouldn't put it past them to have the same this filthy and disgusting cause of wives, in a sense, setting up the men and them, as you would see in a picture called Mandingo as well. That in the history, they're famous for doing that. Seeing the genitalia of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, seeing the endowment, and going out, of course, with the nasty, disgusting cells and raping the men and them. You follow? Sometimes they would bugger the men. You would see that with the slave masters and them, and bring across their partners and they. This is our people this is what they was doing. You follow? Because when we exacting justice, sometimes we're just looking for you to get either death or prison. They're the most we just call for other people. You don't see us going to these kind of lengths. You follow to go and defecate on people and urinate on people in public and this kind of nasty thing. You don't see that. Next one.
3. Water torture. In water torture, the victim's nostrils were first pinched shut, and then about 8 liters of water was forced down the victim's throat with a funnel. In some cases, boiling water or vinegar was used to inflict even greater suffering. In the end, the victim's stomach would rupture, leading to painful and gruesome death.
Right, because of course if they pour hot water in your stomach, you follow? Or vinegar especially, and it go with the enzymes and whatever the cases in your stomach, you follow? Your stomach will burst open, and that is the kind of mind state of your enemies. That is the torture that us as that people went through. So remember this, that this is, as the scripture say, hateful, every hateful word. That is their mind state. You follow? That they have a perpetual hatred towards you. Seeing that they was under our foot at one time. When they came back here now, you see the extent that they go to, right? And how they would exact vengeance on us. This is not justice, this is vengeance. This is, trying to put people in the place, so to speak. I let you know, well, I is the most evil thing on the face of the planet, which they are. Alright? Because the scripture says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Alright? We done number 4.
4. Heretic fork. This simple yet effective instrument consisted of 2 metal forks set one against the other, was to be placed under the chin of the accused, on the end resting just above the larynx and the other above the trachea. Forks forced the subject of the torture to hold his head erect at all times in order to avoid pain. Since the instrument didn't target any vital organs, suffering could last for days without the danger of victim's death. Heretic fork was highly popular with Spanish Inquisition.
Pause right there, right? You follow? This is just what do you call it? Mischievous. You follow? It's just mischievousness standing.
Right.
You follow? This kind of level of torture, we putting people through them kind of thing for. Imagine you can't bow your head. How strong you have to be. You follow to hold up your head for days and them kind of thing. That's the kind of thing all people went through. These are the same people that they try to make as your friends. They try to make, you follow, treaties with in terms of friendships. Yeah. Do business. But treaties and them kind of different things, you cannot trust your enemy. This is your enemy. Let them get an opportunity as the woman said the other day. The dog, you understand? The female dog of a Edomite woman, of a Caucasian woman, the oppressor, right? He said, we better take our time and know what we're doing, so to speak, because we put all in slavery again. This is what they're talking about here when they're talking about putting us back in slavery, and if we should know, and we should know our place. Of course, again, the pictures again, like they whitewash everything else, they try to put it in as their people, so and being so valiant to survive these things. This was not Caucasian people that were doing this to. Alright? This one. Go ahead.
The pear. Another device favored by the Spanish Inquisition was the pear, mostly used on female victims. Device was inserted into the subject's vagina or mouth and then expanded by twisting the screw on the outer end, lacerating and ripping inside. Torture sessions that involved the pear almost always had a fatal end.
Understand? And they would also, in a different document, you would see where they actually put this of the men as well. So what they have done, the pear, you know, look at what the pear look like. This here is a turning device, and this here is what will stick into the woman's vagina. You follow? And you see how it's expanding, you know? So this here is like a screw, not like them, not on them. Right?
Yes.
Put you here, go ahead.
Like them expand.
That is it, correct. Yeah. Exactly what the officer saying. You see, like Officer Mike was saying, is like an expandable boat, and what they would do is it expanded until you follow it stretched open, and then of course you wouldn't survive to that. You would actually bleed through that. That is a very inhumane way to die. You follow, a very gruesome thing that they have no right to do, wherever the case is, because many of the times, especially on this side of the place, even though it's a wicked thing to do all together, but on this side of the earth, we couldn't even speak the language, so you can understand what they was talking about when they accuse of heresy and all of that. Right? That is a demonic thing to do. Alright? So I'll pause on that for now, but this is what we're going on. So they will twist it until it expands, and then your rectum as a male, your vagina as a woman, you understand? And all kind of, I can't imagine how you will bleed out, basically. You follow? That is the people in them that run the earth today. That these are the people that set up the Catholic churches today, all these different things. So when you start seeing justice for rape victims, and this not being a public outcry, and plus they want to pay them off. They're famous for doing that, for paying off the people, and this is the mind state of them. Right? Because you uncivilized or whatever the case is. So whatever excuse they have to do you whatever wickedness, this is their mind. You follow? Alright. So from there we'll go on to the give me Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 31 to 37 Babakosha. Right? Because we would have gone, you're thinking, by now you're probably thinking, what would we have done to deserve such a punishment like this? Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 31 to 37, Babakosha. Slack. Yeah.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2,
right,
and verse 31.
Right.
O generation, see ye the word of the Lord. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore, say my people, we are lords, we will come no more unto thee.
All right, pause right there. So the Lord saying, O generation, you know what I mean? So as we go down the line and seeing all the things that take place with us, because at this time we have been through a few captivities itself, under different slave periods. So he's saying, O generation, right? See the word of the Lord, see the warning of the Lord and the instruction he gave you before. If you would operate as you're supposed to do and continue to keep the commandments that he gave to you, follow, keep the statutes, and keep the spirit of the Lord, the follow that he gave to you. Right? So he's saying this. Have I been a wilderness to you? So have I been, you follow, wicked or brutal to you? Have I been scarce to you? You follow, distant to you? Right? Unto the children of Israel, unto all of us, all 12 tribes of us, whichever place that we were in the earth, right? And the Lord is saying then, I been a land of darkness. Look what the difference between a land of light, because he gave us the land of milk and honey to dwell in, right? That's where we reside.
Right.
We had things good, you know what I mean? The garden of Eden, all these different things, we had good fruit, right? That's what he intended all the time, coming down the land. But look where we are right now. We're in a land of darkness, right? This is the situation. This is the history that we passed through, the brutal history that we passed through not too long ago. This was just a couple hundred years ago, right? Up till today, where we're seeing a lot of evil going on, and some of them just coming out because the media is now, the age then, where the cell phone now, you follow, is a tool they used to record and show different things, right? And people kind of shocked and stunned. But this is what they was doing behind closed doors all the time. This has been going on for hundreds of years. You follow? This is the people that we are now under under what we call brutal oppression from, right? So the Lord saying, have I been these kind of people to you? You follow? That you would what? Depart with Lord, slack it.
Yeah. Wherefore say my people, we are lords, we will come no more unto thee.
Right, so our people saying that these lords, we can do what we want basically. That's the mindset of some of our people, that's the trap that we fall into. Because we thinking, because of the influence of evil men, you follow? We thinking that we can just do what we want. When the Lord saying, you're supposed to come to me, you're supposed to have real fear for me, you follow? I never intend for you to reach to this stage. For you to end up to this kind of punishment, this kind of a judgment, you follow? From our people that I ain't even give law to. You know, operate that kind of way. He didn't give them the instructions to uphold to the generation and generation. But he gave us that day. Alright, read on, verse 32, Baba Kesha.
Verse 32. Can a maid forget her ornaments?
Right, can a young maid, you follow a young lady, forget her ornaments, her earrings, things like that before she walk out the house. The makeup, blah, blah, blah. You understand? The nice, what you call it, jewelry on the foot. You understand? Shoes, different ways, and different garments, a chain. You understand? A beads on her head. A young maid, how used to dress up nice, as they see in the TV, how a princess would dress, right? Can a young maid forget her ornaments? But yet,
or a bride, her attire?
Or the bride, her attire. Definitely she ain't forgetting that, as they see modern day with the marriages and stuff like that, the marriage ceremony and that, right? They ain't forgetting nothing. We done?
Yet my people have forgotten me days without number.
Yet my people, you understand? The Lord saying his people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, forget him. Don't pay him no mind. You follow, don't have that kind of mindset, that kind of fear towards him. Many days without what?
Without number.
Without number. That is the stage we reach at. You follow, where we forget that we're supposed to keep laws, statutes, commandments, judgments, brotherhood, sisterhood. You follow, just be an upright person. You follow, in fact, not be an upright person. Strive to continue to be more perfect and more excellent, and teach this to your children.
Right.
So when you leave off them ways and them, you know, you find, you follow that you'd see we falling back way back. We falling, we degenerating. We're going backward. Alright? And backward now coming to the place where we face destruction by our own means sometimes, well many times, because you're without instruction. And then the next time you follow is at the hands of people that want to kill at will. People that will destroy and laugh. This is a game for them. You follow all these different things, and how a person with a conscience could sit down, you follow, and stick something up a sister like that, a woman or a man. You follow, what kind of mindset you have to have to do that? What kind of demons you are running up and down in here to do this to people? You know what I mean? And that's what we're facing right now. Read on, Baba Kusha.
Kan. Verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways?
Right. So the Lord saying, why are you trimming your ways? Why it is you're going and let him half step. But you ain't even coming up to scratch to how it is you're supposed to be doing. You follow, like you're supposed to eat a certain diet. You want to make an excuse to fit in with people, right? So you trimming your ways, the ways that the Lord gave to you, the commandments that keep our entire house running well. You trimming them ways and leaving it off to go and please somebody else. To seek love from who? You follow? When these people don't know how to love. You're seeking love and acceptance, as we say, not we in the world that don't understand absolute like actual logic. They don't even understand basics. Right? What it is they're doing is seeking love and talking about everybody should become as one and equality and all these different things. If you want equality, then if you really want equality, then you're supposed to be taking them and you're supposed to ask them to come back in slavery. If that's what you're asking for, that's what you really want. You're supposed to be working towards that if you want equality. That equal, you understand? For me to get thrown off a ship and get eaten by sharks, or to be fed by lions or alligator, well then are you supposed to want equality too? Are you supposed to want to take your children and you follow and go and throw them for alligator bait? If you so-called want equality, you follow? What it is you really want? You're showing many ways to seek love, and you're seeking love from people that never learn to love, that don't know love. Love is keeping at this law, because this law is ensuring our entire society run as it's supposed to go. It's supposed to keep people at a mind state where I'm considerate of my actions and my brothers and they, you follow? And that's supposed to continue to grow and develop and really become who you are. That is where we came all from. That's why we have that type of hatred and that type of disgust. Even that type of cool way of dealing with, because we have a lot of respect for them other oppressors and they. Right? And then we have to consider what it is you're really thinking about. Because if you're trimming your ways to seek their love and they don't know how to love, and you're seeing in their fruits going on the line, it's only wickedness, only injustice, only what do you call it, lies by the politicians and going down the line, then something definitely wrong with you. What we really want, what we're really looking for, really looking after for is some type of mercy, but they're looking for mercy from the wrong people. And that is a weakened state. When you're weakened state of mind, you would side with the people and them that have strength. You follow? And you wouldn't be able to stand upright and trust the Lord through anything. Because you don't understand that He's the man that controls life, death, breath, air, everything like that. So you're looking to the wrong people. That's what the Lord's saying. Read on, Baba Kusha.
Verse 34. Also, in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents.
Pause right there. So in your skirts, you follow? Your skirts are supposed to be protecting your nakedness. So the Lord saying in your skirts, you follow? These are the things that you're supposed to have like the most precious, things in them. Right? You know, let me just check. So check it from above. Right? So in your skirts, you're supposed to hide the jewels then, you follow? But in your dress, you're seeing blood and the souls of the poor innocent. Right? Because you're not standing, as the scripture says, you're not standing up for righteousness, and you're not standing for the widows, you follow? The fatherless, and you're not speaking up for the people that you're supposed to be protecting, you're supposed to love. You're supposed to see that they're being mistreated on the streets, lying down in Port of Spain, in Arima, you understand, in Tunapuna, in South, wherever the cases, and people doing all manner of wickedness to them, the police going and run them, and having them doing push-ups and drinking alcohol and all these different things, when you're not seeing the police officers and them doing that to other races. In your skirts that we're seeing, the blood are innocent, because you watching blood dying right through. And you don't have no love for them, you follow? You're not protecting them. Them not precious to you, and them not under your skirt. You follow? So you have a harlot skirt. You don't have a question.
I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these.
So the Lord didn't find it by secret search, but upon all these, by all the actions that we have blatantly displayed, all we manner, we call it that evil that we follow after. These are the things that the Lord could see. So He ain't making up no lie on nobody. If only could see it plain and simple, this is the mind state that we're in right now. Read on, Baba Kusha.
Verse 35.
Right.
Yet thou sayest, because I am innocent, surely His anger shall turn from me.
So hear what Charles Gordon saying. What Charles Gordon saying?
Surely, because I am innocent.
What keep you all Salakia? What keep you all saying?
Because I am innocent.
What this man? Who is going to beat him? Rasta man. Fitzgerald Hines saying?
Because I am innocent.
What's the Duke saying?
Because I am innocent.
So all these black leaders, and they watching all the destruction of our people, and they seeing it, they could tell, because they are statistics, they are the numbers, they have access to these things, and they seeing these things, and they're saying that they're innocent. Read on.
Because I am innocent, surely His anger shall turn from me.
So they believe in their mind somehow that the Lord's anger will turn from them, that they're doing something right, that they give out a little grant here somewhere sometimes, right? And they believe that the anger of the Lord will be turned from them. Read on.
Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned.
So the Lord saying he will plead with our people, you follow? With the wicked of our people, because you're saying in your heart that they ain't do nothing wrong. You're saying that I ain't do nothing evil, you follow? Now I mean do nothing wrong. I see as either you're contributing to it, you follow, or see it and pass, and still contributing to it in a particular way, right? So which means that all the ways that you have learned, you definitely need to learn how to walk upright, because definitely what you're doing right now is causing people, well, as the scripture says, the innocent to die. You follow? That is what we have on a wide scale basis today, and amalgamated, and all the Caucasian companies, right? The Syrians and they that own the companies, they're getting rich off of it by our destruction. But you saying in your heart, you follow, that you're innocent. You follow? That is an evil thing, and the Lord will definitely send a judgment to you, a straight punishment to you. You follow? For saying this in your heart, for saying these deceptive things. You understand? Read on Bible, Kisha. Behold, I will. Right. Yeah. Behold, slack it.
Verse 36, slack it.
No, verse 35, right down, right? The second part. Yeah, behold, yeah. Bible, Kisha, right?
Verse 35,
right.
Continuing.
Right.
Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned.
Right, so this, get it in context. The Lord is not saying he come and ask you nothing. When you talk about plead with you, follow, in the next scripture you see that he's talking about he bringing death. Because I already pleaded with you already. I already sent my prophets and them to plead with you. So how I go and plead with you, follow, is for you to really understand now. And the next time you come, in what we call the reincarnation or the rebirth, regeneration. So when you come back again, you go learn. But this is how the Lord going to play with you, with that dread destruction. However you choose to do it, you follow the righteous in sending it towards our people for this manner of evil that we're doing. So you see all these gun violence and brothers, and sometimes you see a baby getting licked down because of some what they call stray bullet and different things, and us being poisoned, the abortion clinics and all these different wickedness that just wiping out us and our dignity as a people, right? You see the other scripture was talking about the spirits have blood on it, all these different wickedness that evident before the Lord. Yes, the Lord is going to plead with our people like that to make sure that we understand what the hell we're supposed to be doing. Right, read on.
Verse 36. Why goddess thou about with so much change thy way?
Right, so why goddess thou? So why you go about running about, like when you goddess about, you're talking and you're sporting yourself basically. So I like them politicians like to talk. They go about, you know what I mean? And hey, you going up, you confident in all your movements, saying, oh boy, we have clean hands. Look what we doing, the economy up, and this up, and that, and whatever the case is, and then you're not paying attention to even the people of your own household, the people of your own family, your own race. You watching them being destroyed and talking this thing. You follow, the Lord is definitely going to hit you a combo. You get a combination of a evil sin against you for that. Read on.
Thou also shalt be ashamed of Egypt.
Right, so Egypt, so modern day Egypt that we have, because they follow after the ways of Egypt. All the wickedness you see done today, we follow is an expansion or you call it a heightened version of what you would see in Egypt. All the wickedness they was doing today. So the Lord saying that you will be ashamed of Egypt because you trust after the mind state of the ways of Egypt. That is right. That's why you see our black leaders and them follow. Alright, yes, Sulla, go ahead.
As thou was ashamed of Assyria.
As he was ashamed of Assyria. So the same Assyrian captivity he was in, you'll be ashamed of Egypt the same way, and then of course the last captivity, America, being under the Caucasian rule. Alright, under mystery Babylon. Right? Read on Babakasha.
Verse 37. Yea, thou shalt go forth from him, and thine hands upon thine head. For the Lord hath rejected thy confidences, and thou shalt not prosper in them.
Right. So the Lord saying, you understand? Yeah, what you call it? Thou shalt go forth from him, you go forth from the Lord, you cast away basically, and thine hands upon thy head. Like how, watch this. This record here is talking about black people basically. But I will be quick to do that. As soon as I'm what you do with Caribbean people? Yeah, and then your head, oh God, pain. You understand? Suffering and things like that. And that is when the judgment coming. You follow, so no black leader is safe, you understand, from the destruction of the Lord. Anybody that chooses to follow after their ways, will face that judgment. You follow? Because what you're doing is contributing to the demise and the, what do you call it, and the I would say the utter destruction of the Lord society. What is he intended to set up? You know what I mean? So that is how devastating it is. Being under these Spanish conquistadors on them here, this is what they just do for so-called justice. And if you're a heretic, if you speak against scriptures, but obviously you would see that is not our punishments according to our records. How we do something, right? You would see something heavy as stoning, but never would we stick up anything up somebody's orifice or check anybody hole and expand nothing. That is not justice. That is evil. You follow? So don't let nobody fool you and think that this could be forgiven. That the Lord ain't forgiven that. You understand? Give me Jeremiah 49 and 16, Babu Kusha. Right?
Jeremiah
49, 16, Babu Kusha. Yeah. Right?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 16. Thy terribleness had deceived thee.
Right, so the terribleness of the so-called Caucasian race have deceived them. You see how he just go about and sport himself, and you know, he's the Pope and the biggest thing on the face of the planet. He like to say that, you know, he's the representative, the vicar of God, the voice of God. Right, his terribleness and his atrocious ways has deceived him. Go ahead.
And the pride of thine heart. Oh, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Right, so of course the origin what the scripture is prophesying or talking about, referring to, is the people that dwell in those places, that the so-called Caucasian race came from the Caucasus Mountains. That's why they call them Caucasians. That's the original land they come from. They was dwelling in the clefts of the rock. That is the Caucasus Mountains, right? And give it again, Babu Kusha. Oh, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock,
right,
that holdest the height of the hill.
Pause right there. So they are the number one superpower on the face of the planet. America and all the Caucasian races, and that's what the Lord prophesied me talking about. They hold the height of the hill. If all come like slang again, me talking about, use the top dog on the hill. You know what I mean? Use the man on top. Right? These are the races that they, or this is the race the Lord talking about here, that hold the height of the hill. Read on.
Thou shouldest make thy nest. Salakia. Thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle.
Right, so now you exalt yourself and say, well, I use this superpower on the earth, you can do what you want. You're going to set up different colonies and all the different places. Do you say that? You follow? Here's the Lord go do. Read on.
I will bring thee down from thence.
Right, so the Lord saying all their structure built so high and nobody feel that it can be touched, or people don't believe on the earth that the American system, that mystery Babylon can't be touched. The Lord will bring it right down. It'll come crashing right down, and that could be any day soon. That could be any day. That could be tomorrow. That could be next 5 minutes. The Lord could bring it down. You follow? Read on.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation.
Pause right there. So just in case that you think, if all of them, that it ain't talking about the so-called Caucasian race, look at who is Edom. Look in Genesis 36, if I'm mistaken, you follow? As you would see his name and around that same chapter. You would see the race they're talking about and who they're referring to. And of course, modern day history have the records, as they have their records of all the atrocities they have done, and very proud of how they established the Catholic system. You'll also see the names of who it is they're talking about here when you look up who is Edom. Alright? Read on.
Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Right, and shall hiss, they shall, hey. You understand? What is this again? I can't remember exactly. Yeah, Baba Kusha, yeah. You're gonna get it correct, right? So, everyone that go by him, all the other races that they do business with, and all these different things, they go hiss at them. We'll get the definition of hiss. Go ahead.
We have hiss. Make a sharp, subslant sound. Right, that's enough.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, we want to get the actual definition, because that is what you want to make sure. Anytime you're dealing with any type of history, you want to get it correct. You want to talk about the scripture, the context of it is very important. So you understand the story now. But it's supposed to be like like either your ships or, you know,
Yes.
along them lines,
Something
yeah.
along lines.
Yeah, so when they see them, they will list them, you know, they ships of them. Go ahead.
This is from the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
All right, go ahead.
Right? It have hiss, right? To make a sharp subsilent sound, and the next one is to express disapproval by hissing.
Right, so this, you know, go for me like that. That's a hiss. You know what I mean? Along the lines, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's a hiss. So all of them, go ahead.
So like hiss,
Go ahead.
more or less like a stick.
Yeah, like a strips. You know, say you're watching them and
Yeah.
when me have time with them, you follow, look at them. You follow this so-called superpower here. Look what they was doing with all the wickedness, but they wasn't saying that, they wasn't fighting. Right now, they ain't so much fighting against them because they're living comfortable. Right? There's only China and them giving them something, the Arabs and them giving them something because they are under pressure. The Africans will, you know, they'll only respond if something going wrong, but they don't have no mind towards us. They don't watch us as they call it, as how much people suffering in the prisons are they, and come up and try to get us out of the prison. The Africans ain't doing that. You understand? The way the Arabs and them, we follow that we just be backing up so much and want to be part of the religion and all that. They don't come and assist us at all. Alright?
Right.
So with that we'll go across to the Encomiendo system, you know. Right? And let me get a little bit of actual history in terms of what was taking place in the same Encomiendo system that affected us.
After Spain conquered the
right?
Aztec
Affected us in this Caribbean region here. Right? So look at what our brothers and sisters was facing. The Taino, or what you call the Indians on there on the side, right, of Latino and Native Indian descent. Look at what they was facing here. When Columbus came across here around the 1492 period, this is all of them is the Spanish Inquisition, because as you would see down below, the people that would have been in charge, and the Spanish rule would be King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. These are the same people that financed Christopher Columbus to come across to this side of the world and destroy our brothers and sisters. Alright?
After Spain conquered the Aztec and Inca Empire and tried to colonize other parts of North and South America, they set up a few systems in place to make sure the Spanish government could keep control over these colonies. One of those systems was the Encomiendo system, which was the system of governance Spain set up for its empire. You can see by the...
Right, let me expand that a little bit there so you can see in a little more detail what you're talking about here, right?
Beginning of the 18th century, Spain had divided the New World into the Viceroyalty of New Spain, which is basically the former Aztec Empire in the Caribbean and the northern part of South America, and the Viceroyalty of Peru, which consisted of mostly the Inca Empire and some other outlying parts. And the main interest the Spanish had in controlling these colonies was bullion, that is to say, raw gold and silver, as well as food, cash crops, and other agricultural products.
Right. Now, in a document here, you would see, right, that when Christopher Columbus here, in all the records, what he came across here was for gold, right? Because that is what they were financing to go and find on this side. Because he known that the children of Israel is located on this side of the world because of the records that inside this Bible here, right? Which is part of the Bible, the Apocrypha, right? It's also a missing piece that they themselves, the Catholic Church, and them very responsible for taking it out or saying that they're not canon over the cases, but they have it in their Catholic Bible, in their Septuagint. Right? So they have certain books inside it, the Septuagint that keep. So that the priests, they know exactly what they're doing. If all of the feel is just so. Everything is systematic, and they have no pity or no intentions of actually paying for their crimes. That is why Spain didn't want the Columbus statue pulled down. Alright? Go ahead.
So the way the Spanish controlled this territory is a system called Encomiendo. This was a system based sort of on the old Spanish feudal system, and also to some degree on indigenous systems that existed in those empires we talked about, like the Inca system. The way it worked was the Spanish crown, that is to say the king, officially owned all the land in the colonies. But he would encourage people to settle it, and by giving them deeds. This was the Encomiendo. And that deed matched to a piece of property in the Spanish colonies. Now, the encomendado, the conquistador that would come and take over that piece of property, wouldn't actually get rights to own the property, but instead had rights to the indigenous people that lived on it. And the idea was the Encomiendo would be responsible for these natives, to teach them Spanish, to convert them to Christianity, to defend them from rival tribes and pirates, teach them European styles of life and build infrastructure for them. In return, the indigenous people would be obligated to work for the Encomendado.
That ain't someone like Jim Crow to you. You follow? So after the harsh slavery that they would have faced, of course, because when you come across on this side, pull up the document you have there, announcement there, right? Go down to Columbus. You'll see in the second paragraph. Right where Columbus is, Game of Family, right? When you have it, let me know. Alright.
Columbus
Well,
landed in Trinidad in 1498.
right.
However, finding no gold.
What they come across, what the Encomiendo system was based on? What they come across to do? To find what?
Gold.
Right, read on.
However, finding no gold, went on a slave raid.
Went on a slave raid. So when he come across on this side, this is what he did. Read on.
They rounded up Arawak men and women and children, sending some to Spain and others to work on the land. Right,
so when when people talk all this foolishness, how the Spanish tribes and them never went on a boat. You understand? This is a next, you follow? Piece of resource or piece of history telling you that this was the case. This is from the, if I'm mistaken, right? This is from itscaribbean.com, a next resource where you'll find Caribbean information. So all these things that are prevalent in history, right? Written there. Right? These are the things that our brothers and sisters face. So what is scripture talking about in Deuteronomy 28? That we went into slavery on ships. That happened to every last one of us. All of us went to that. You know what I mean? Alright, go ahead.
The island remained largely unpopulated until Spanish settlers came a century later. The Spanish reign following Columbus' arrival and naming in 1498 would last almost 300 years till British occupation beginning in 1797.
Pause right there. You see how they like to write history as well? In their records, you know, they're saying settlers. You know what I mean? And population. Things like that that make it seem like that they came in so easy, they came in so nice. Right? There's also a document talking about Montezuma, right? Montezuma, which couldn't even understand their language when they came across here. You'll see that in the document, right? Right? Montezuma, they were saying that Montezuma said that he was occupying the seat until them come across here. He had the deceitful, he had the witchcraft of the so-called oppressor. This is the mindset that these people are there. And when they talk about manifest destiny, they're talking about by rape, by slavery, by murders, they follow by chopping off your limbs. That is manifest destiny to them. They're destined, here are the destinies to do, all the evil on the earth. Everything that all the atrocities on the earth, that's what they're destined to do. You see it come to pass. You follow? That is the people and them that we under right now. We need to come out, you follow, come out of that system altogether. The only way you could find to do that is coming back to the Lord. As you're saying, that you're forgetting what out is, now you have to come back to the Lord and understand exactly what it is He said to do, because this is your option. This is your only other option. So all the gun, all the shootings and whatever the case, and if your heart sorry if, as a woman or a man, you follow, you're really sorry for all the mothers and fathers that get their sons and daughters gunned down, then you have to come back to serve the Lord. Because there's destruction happening on our planet right now. Destruction happening everywhere that the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man is, because where they can find us is where they'll take the most amount of riches, where they'll find gold, where they find this. And when they don't find it, what they'll do, they'll go on what? A slavery. You follow? That is why the prison system and them just boom like that, because that is what they're about. You follow? Anything that to continue their lust, their insatiable appetite to fulfill every lust on the planet. You follow? That is their game. That every time you think about this, think about, you understand? Your orifice opening and splitting open. Let's think about that when they're talking about the niggers, excuse my French, right? The Negroes better stay in their lane, or else they put them back in slavery. Think about that. Think about the people that don't have no no restraint. That's why they kill and talk about they was afraid for their life. You follow? That's why you want to pay attention to. Read on. Where are they?
Okay. The Arawak and Carib Indians were largely wiped out by the Spanish colonizers, and the survivors were slowly assimilated.
Alright, so the survivors them was slowly assimilated by the Spanish Inquisition because we was teaching heresy. our way of living altogether, you follow? That they came across here and they didn't understand was heresy. Right? The only way that could have happened to us, and they would now this is supposed to be in your mind now. What caused all this? What created us to be at such at the I wouldn't say mercy because not mercy we get in, there's mercy from the Lord we get in that they destroy us further. But at the hands of our people that would do what they feel like on any given day. You follow? And the only reason they probably don't go overboard is because in this modern society, they don't like the shame. They don't like us shaming them, you follow? By bringing out all the wickedness in front of everybody. So all the other races on there that might try to do a little business, they don't do it that much. Or they do it on a small, or we just only, as they say, we just only kill the Negroes. As the cop there, as the white policeman say when he pull it over the Caucasian female, he say, why are you afraid? We only kill, we just only murder the other race. Well, not even the other race, we only murder the Negro. Right? Coming back to the Encomiendo system now, let's see what they're talking about here.
Or Encomendero, excuse me. Grow food for them and other products, mine for them, and then in turn the Encomendero would pay a tax back to the crown. And this system was supposed to last for 2 generations of native people. And after those 2 generations were up, they would be fully integrated at the empire and the Encomiendo would expire. In theory, this is a good system. The Encomenderos would be able to get products and labor, free labor.
Remember, we'll go on and see, I believe, you cannot clear up that whatever the case is, but that is the mind state of them. If all they was in their records, they would have said that is a good system. You know they're telling that to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, the rulers of their people. If the rulers of the people is that mind state, that is what the entire population will have. There's no good white, there's no good Caucasian people, brother. There's no good Caucasian, there's no good East Indian, there's no good African, there's no good Japanese, there's no good Chinese, there's no good people on the face of the planet. Because just as our own people is watch and see our destruction, the same thing is do. That's where we learn it from the other races. And there's no good people that can teach us anything. And this is the people that instituted all. At least on this side of the planet, on this side of the world, instituted slavery and the demise or the continual destruction. Because as the records say, it was almost wiped out. You understand? At least our brothers and them on this side, it was almost wiped out. You follow? When you come across any transatlantic slave trade, 99 million people on average died. And I would still say there's no ball in it. Within that period of time, 99 million people would have died. Alright? They go back to the Encomiendo system now. Good system.
From the natives. And in turn, the natives would enjoy the benefits of being part of the Spanish Empire.
In part of what empire? What empire, and that would want me to be subject to rapings? The Catholic system today. You're watching it with different eyes. You're looking at it as such glorious thing that they put it up to be. Offer all our labor, that is how they build the cathedral and all the different monuments of all the rapists that they put up there. And all of our characters, they follow that they switch over, that they whitewash, and they have St. Peter and St. Paul and whatever the cases. And that is why they have no connection with them. That is why they don't have the ways of the Lord in them. You follow that type of spirit dwelling in there. Or that kind of mindset with the people in there. It's only people that really dumbed down and been broken, basically, have been beaten into submission or beat into absolute well, the mind is mush, basically, right? It's just robots living in a system where they're just afraid of or that spiral is passed down generation to generation, so they don't have that type of might or that type of ability to really reason and say, okay, this here was an evil system and I need to definitely separate from it. All you always looking for, or the people that dwell in these establishments, is trimming their ways to seek love from the oppressor, what we call the Stockholm syndrome. You follow that? There's a slave, you understand, looking for the love of the oppressor, of the captor.
Right.
after they've been beaten into submission.
Practice that really didn't happen. The Encomenderos were cruel to the natives. Sometimes they were beaten or enslaved, and they're often complaints
Right?
from the natives to governors and also from missionaries into the Americas about the poor treatment of the natives in the West Indies or in the Americas. And often the taxes wouldn't get paid, and then after 2 generations were up, the Encomenderos kept those systems anyway, so they could rule over the natives basically as their own fief. So this went on for a while until you saw some serious complaints, mostly stemming from one guy. His name was Bartolome de las Casas, and he was a missionary to the Americas. He had been to Cuba, and then he worked in other parts of the New World as a missionary, and he was mostly interested in, according to his writing, the welfare of the natives as well as converting them to Christianity. And he saw that their poor treatment in the Encomiendo system as, really dangerous, not only to the lives of the natives, but also he saw to the souls of both the Indians or natives and the Spanish. So he wrote a book called A Short Account of the Destruction of the Indies, or the History of the Indies. And he had this published, and he got a lot of pushback. He went to Spain to try and convince the king to end this Encomienda system. But keep in mind, a lot of people were making a lot of money off of this system, no less than the king. So there was this a lot of pushback from people in Spain, and even from other missionaries who sometimes saw the natives as sort of not able to be fully converted. There was a saying in the Spanish Empire, "Sin Indios, no las Indias," which means without the Indians, there are no Indies. Which basically means that the labor the natives provided to the Encomiendo was the most important part of Spain's colonies in the New World. That without the labor, there's no way to access the raw materials of the Americas. Ultimately, King Charles was sympathetic to de las Casas' writings, and he wrote a set of laws in 1542 called the New Laws that abolished the Encomiendo system. Some of the Encomenderos revolted against this, but ultimately their resistance was put down. A new system was put in place called Repartimiento. It wasn't that different from Encomienda. Instead of individual deeds given to the Encomenderos, governors were responsible for organizing the labor and the produce. Eventually, this system also sort of died away, and in its place, you saw this hacienda system.
Right. Before we move on, I'm going to go back to it a little bit, right? The same repartimento system is actual Jim Crow. So just in the same fashion where the people in them of the South that had the slaves, right, and they wasn't given up, or they wasn't, the slaves weren't released or made a transition into the Jim Crow era by the goodwill of the Caucasian male or the Caucasian rulers in the North. That was based upon an economic transaction because they would have more might in the North as opposed to the strength that the South would have had because of how much slaves that they had. Right? So they was forced into, when they went to Civil War, they was beaten, right? And they was forced basically to go into the Jim Crow era. The same system applies on this side of the fence. Right? And remember, there's nothing new under the sun, as the scripture says, nothing new. This system would have had either roundabout or we call it a little bit, this same repartimento system would have happened just before that time. Because in 1616 is where the transatlantic slave trade would have been roundabout, around there, right? The Encomiendo system and all these things stem from about the 1200th century going up to about 17 something, right? I think it's from 14, the Spanish Inquisition time period, so to speak, right? Is written down or recorded from 1478 to 1834. Round about, let's say about 340 years, somewhere around there, right? So they say, right? But we'll see things from there before that, as we see in our next record here, right? Go back to the history, the document of history.com, history channel, right? Yeah, from the history channel. And you're going down to, let me get it with you. Alright. So you're going down to where's the off on that party? Where's the off?
We was under the hidden job of inquisitors.
Right.
Right, and we can stop up NS people. Right, about the second paragraph.
Alright. Are we done from writing?
Let's go.
Right. Start from paragraph 2, go ahead.
From the top, right?
Yeah, publication.
From the top of paragraph 2.
Right.
Come. Those accused of heresy were forced to testify.
Right, so the same people they say that was heretics, they was forced to testify, which means they sell out the other people and them, right?
Right.
You done?
If the heretic did not confess, torture and execution was inescapable.
Right. Go ahead.
Heretics weren't allowed to face accusers, received no counsel, and were often victims of false accusation.
Right. You done?
Bernard White wrote the influential guidebook for inquisitors called Conduct of the Inquisition into Heretical
Depravity
in the early 14th century. White himself pronounced over 600 people guilty of heresy and was featured as a character in the Umberto Eco's novel, The Name of the Rose. There were countless abuses of power.
Right. Go ahead.
Count Raymond VII of Toulouse was known for burning heretics at the stake, even though they had confessed. His successor, Count Alphonse, confiscated the lands of the accused to increase his riches.
Right, suppose right, they say same within the period of time, all of them coming down the line had the same mindset. In some type of either more evil or less evil way, but they're still doing the same thing. Abusing the power. Right, so even the heretics and them that, well, the people that was accused of heresy, even though they confessed because of the torture they go through, right? And let's go and see what it is they're talking about here when they're talking about torture, right? Going back to it. So our next form of torture here now, right? Officer Shah, give me this publication. You see it? You see it?
Come.
Yeah. 7.
Read out.
Here, Babakisha, the wheel here. Read it. One of the most
popular and cruelest torture and execution methods ever practiced is the wheel. This giant spikel wheel had to operate by several men and was able to break literal every bone in victims' bodies as it turned in, causing organizing and slow death.
Right, so pause right there. So this wheel that they had here, they had them spikes, you follow, and it was able to kind of stretch you and break almost every bone in your body. You follow? That is the next means. This is what they would torture people that they even know. Sometimes they even know what it is they're talking about. You understand? And that is the kind of punishment our people receive under the Catholic system, under the Spanish Inquisition that exists today. The FBI does use the same tactics. The waterboarding, all these different things, they're still using the same tactics. Right? I don't know if it's probably later on in the same document here, but they had a next wheel where they would have what do you call it? A piece of wood between your hand and the wheel, right? Under all the joints and it, right? And they could under your hip area too. Imagine that. And then they would beat it, you understand, until it separate basically. And that is like, tell me where the heretics and them is. You follow? Where they hiding, right? The same thing they would do with the Arabs and them to find out who's the next bomber. You understand where Osama bin Laden hiding? So that is the same tactic they would have been practicing and perfected on us before they reached to them.
And Salakia said, if I may, just watching the way you bring it on there, right? You can become angry.
Right.
When you look at today, right? When you look back at this history,
Right.
the people today don't know this history.
Right.
And now they in the Roman Catholic Church,
Right.
not knowing that these people, understand, tortured
Right.
their entire race of people.
Correct.
Right? And now they claim to be the ones of good report.
Right.
Understand?
Right.
Or holy as they say.
Correct.
You understand? And now it comes like your parents were tortured and murdered in the church.
Right.
And the church grow you up.
Right.
And have you doing the service inside the same institution.
Exactly.
Unknowingly to you.
Yeah, very well. I mean, very good point to put up there, Dan, because, I mean, thinking about it, imagine yours, as you're saying, imagine you're training them financing, you do work, then the labor they do, you continue to finance, and plus all people is real gift to them.
That's right.
There's a real donate to the Catholic Society. They might be one of the richest societies still on the face of the planet, although they're doing all the wickedness behind closed doors.
Right.
Although they set it up, you follow, and they are the people that say, which religion can teach this and that. They are the fathers of Christianity. Catholic Church, you follow? And all that money that they have, all the money that they stole, and they don't have enough. You follow? All the rapings, everything like that, is like it never suffice. That is what we're under right now. We have to definitely come out of that system. This is what this so-called society is based upon. Taking the rules of this book here and twisting it on every evil matter, because that is the mind state. That is what is exciting them. That is what they have they write it on records. You will be proud of something that you're writing down. That is what they leave as a historical record. You follow? And it is a psychological thing too, because if you don't understand that you have strength and you can rely on the Most High Power, you're thinking that you're supposed to be afraid of them. And you follow? What you want to be is afraid of the Most High Power. You follow? You want to be wary of them and mindful of them and look how you're treading around them, because the snakes, there's a pit of snakes you're walking around and you're dancing up and giving your might to and all your strength and all your resources to. You follow? And they continue to sell you lies. That's why you just go carnival and go and get on like a slut, maybe have sex, whatever the case is, and they're not telling you that sex is marriage according to the Bible. And then they go and put some ash on your head and you feel that is everything. Put some so-called holy water. Where in the scriptures you find that? Nowhere. All these different things that they continue to portray. All the paganism acts we could find in the records. All these different ways that they put together, they sum together and bring as some type of a solution for our communities is bringing more and more destruction to our communities. Right now, we don't know how much children we have HIV/AIDS. They follow through all these different priests and them molesting them, boys and girls. You understand? Because that was brought up just the other day in America or somewhere in Europe or wherever the case is, and they pardon the priests and them, and it's not one. It's some of them, plus they raping the nuns and them, plus the nuns and them is part and parcel of the thing. The same nuns and them is participating in that because they know that the priests and them is raping little boys and girls. You follow? There's a wicked system, and they believe that they can never get paid for it. But how they pay for it is by us separating from them. That is what the Lord wants us to do. We have forgotten Him many days, too many days. So now it's time that you have an opportunity here. This is what grace is actually talking about. That grace period to come out of the ways of all the things and that you fear, that they pong in by fear and by the media and all these, and it's just scare tactics, it's psychology, that they're playing games on you. Now you have to get back your strength. But you're going to get back your strength now is understanding that the Lord have a military system, a military structure, and that is the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yan. That is the only solution to fix the entire world today. Not only the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American man, but you're talking about run the entire planet. Because that is what the Lord is coming back to set up. When you have people that understand what a government is and how to actually run it. This is the history that has been stolen from us and replaced by the Spanish Inquisition that exists today. The Spanish Inquisition have different names and different faces, namely the DAA, the CIA, the FBI, Interpol, all the different systems you follow that they have. This is the same methods and tactics that they use. That's why you find cruelty always happening within the police service. Right. No matter where you go on every face of anywhere on the planet, because that is the mind state. This is how they train the people to be. So our people, black policemen is not enough. You follow? Latino policemen is not enough. Native policemen is not enough. They must be trained by Commandant General Yohana and the men under him. The men that have the experience to raise and teach families that they have done from 8 people and grown to thousands all over the world today. Right. Within a 40-year period. You follow? These are the only capable people that understand this Bible and could fix the entire society. If you really want change, this is where you get it. Right inside of here. Alright? So we're moving on to see, right, to the same, give me the same article, the history. The Inquisition publication, right? From the History Channel, sorry. Right. You could skip down to conversos, because who are the conversos they're talking about here? Right? Yeah, skip down to conversos, not too far down. Right, no sir. Alright. Go through.
Conversos. In the late 15th century, King Ferdinand II.
I pause right there. So the king they're talking about here is the same one that financed Christopher Columbus. Like the important stick a pin in it. Go ahead.
King Ferdinand II and Queen Isabella of Spain believed corruption in the Spanish Catholic Church was caused by Jews.
By who?
By Jews.
Go ahead.
Who, to survive centuries of anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism, because the Shemite is where we come from, so Semitism, that this is why the Jews are trying to mask themselves. Not the Jews, the Jewish man is trying to mask himself, but the Jews they're talking about here is Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians. Read on.
Right? Jews, to survive centuries of anti-Semitism, converted to Christianity.
So to survive all these wickedness that they're doing, you follow? And to not face that, of course, being in a weakened state and now coming out of rulership, fresh out of rulership, you're not accustomed to war. To survive, you understand, they would have lost their strength and not understand what they're supposed to be doing. They wasn't in a mind state already. Neither was they paying attention to the Lord, right? Or had that mind state to know, well, we cannot submit to no devil and to no oppressors. Read on.
Known as the conversos, they were viewed with suspicion by all powerful Christian families. Conversos were blamed for a plague that caused of poisoning people's water and abducting Christian boys.
Remember that one again. Conversos was what? Blamed for what?
Conversos were blamed for a plague.
Pause right there. When the coronavirus hit just the other day, and it originated from Wuhan, China, we know this, right? When it reached to this side of the world, who they blame?
Black people.
So, you understand? The communities and them in a state which is underfunded and not a high level of education. Neither are they without the proper records, right? Or the men that they try to silence on American media that have the solution for them and have been fixing their lives for 40 years. Right? Who they blame?
Black people.
Black people. So it's
Hispanics and Native Indians.
That's right. No sir. You know what I mean? All of these black people, they don't know. Right? So the same Negro, Latino, and Native American people, black people, they always try to blame for every problem under the sun. Remember that with the oppressor. But the chief oppressor and the other oppressors going down the line. Read on.
The conversos were blamed for a plague and accused of poisoning people's water and abducting Christian boys.
Right. So of course, in a way to attack, is either somebody was doing it before, or we was trying to get some type of revenge, which they should. And the Christian boys they're talking about is maybe their own children, of course. Because they're under them, and what is do to the Christian boys today? What is do to Catholic boys today? The altar boys and them, what is do to them?
Rape and molest them.
That is infamous, that is known. It follows like that is the training ground to get raped, to get molested. You follow? And to be a vicar or a martyr for Christ, so to speak. That is what they count as that. That is the concept, that is the mind state of the people that rule over us and set the religious society that we have today. The so-called religious society. That is why Christianity will find the same type of raping, the same type of robbery, adultery, and every sin under the planet, because they're not going according to what the Lord said. They're following after the ways of evil men. Read on. No, sir.
Ferdinand and Isabella feared that even trusted conversos were secretly practicing their old religion. The royal couple was also afraid of angering Christian subjects who demanded a harder line against conversos. Christian support was crucial in an upcoming crusade against Muslims planned in Granada.
Right. Pause right there. Right? They, of course, know in our own records. Give me this, Babakisha. This is Judah chapter 5 from verse 17, Babakisha. Babakisha, yeah. Now, just have it fast, you know, Janet. Mash it up as soon as possible now. We have one or two scriptures again to go through. Yeah, you're right on the time. Judah chapter 5 verse 17. Go down to 21.
Judah chapter 5 and verse 17.
Right, go ahead.
And why is they sin? Not before their God.
Pause right there. So you hear what King Ferdinand and Isabella know to be afraid of. If we practicing the old religion, what will happen? We don't.
They proposed because of the power that had iniquity was with them.
Right, so the power that hated iniquity will be with us. And what will happen to them? We don't.
Verse 18. But when they depart from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles. So very sore.
Very sorely. So that will happen to us if we practice the old religion. If we keep the ways of the Lord, they will fall. You follow? But when we don't do it, they know that they can continue to do us anything on the face of the planet they want. They know this. It was in the records. That's how Christopher Columbus again find the Indios. You follow? Or the Taino Indians on this side of the world. Right?
Right.
We done?
And were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and the cities were taken by the enemies.
Right, so our cities could only be taken and we could only be overthrown or overcome in battle if the Lord is not with us. When we sin against the Lord, which our people are doing today. Right? We done?
Verse 19. But now are they returned to their power and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and they have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is.
Right.
And are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor.
Right, so here's the demand saying he warned the king and governor, as of course somebody would have been given the information. The historians at that time would have been given King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella this what you call intel. They'll be telling them this. Remember, go ahead, read on.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people.
So he's saying, he's making sure to tell King Ferdinand, if there's any error in this people, understand something, read on.
And they sin against their power.
And they sin against their power, what will happen?
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
That this shall be their ruin. That is why these so-called oppressors, this pressing us so hard day and night, every living second of the day that they get. To make sure that we depart from the ways of the Most High Power. And we do not follow our old religion. Read on.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Right, so they know that is the only way they could overcome us. Right, go ahead.
Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
right,
let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Right, so they know this. They know that they will become a reproach before all the world. So, right, so go back to the same document here and watch what King Ferdinand is saying. Because he know that the power that they have, when they obey the Lord, that would be broken. And now I could continue to have my Inquisition taking place. I could continue to have free labor going on. I'll continue to generate resources. If I want to fund my wars and my insatiable lust to take over, and let's take over and grab lands. They're not like other races. They're the most hateful birds on the face of the planet. The so-called oppressors, the height of the Caucasian race. Right?
Right.
Read on, Baba Kusha. Go ahead.
Ferdinand felt an inquisition was the best way to fund that crusade by seizing the wealth of the heretic conversos.
Right, so he knows that's the only way that he could, well, one of the ways. Because remember, we have not come out of slavery. I mean, rulership. So you have a certain amount of money, you follow? Based on a certain amount of land titles, whatever the case is. Because you see the Encomiendo system, the same thing they do on this side. Because remember, the Spanish Inquisition was set up. And that's where they learn how to apply an Encomiendo system. You understand? The repartimentio system. That is the same Jim Crow laws on this side of the face of the planet. Alright? We done, Baba Kusha?
We need to talk.
Yeah, Baba Kusha. Yeah.
Torquemada
Mm-hmm.
in 1478 under the influence of clergyman Thomas Torquemada, the tribunal of Castile to investigate heresy among the conversos.
Right, so the same conversos, that would be like Christians today, right? The converted religious people, and then people go to church where they get to give up their old ways of dealing with things. It come like a man who was in the truth, and somebody beat, you understand, the crap out time, and he decide, well, boy, I can't live so no more, whatever the case is. Whatever reason, because he basically lost hope, you know, like they've been so comfortable for so long, and it take away like he fighting, because of course that written all records. That's how we forefathers this stuff wrote. So that is the only way you can really get the people to convert when they weaken. Read on.
The effort focus on stronger Catholic education for conversos.
Right.
But by 1480, the Inquisition was formed. That same year, Jews in Castile were forced into ghettos separated from Christians.
Give me that again, what is it?
In that same year, Jews in Castile were forced into ghettos.
Or forced into way. What about Lavantel down the way?
Into ghettos.
What about Scorpion?
Into ghettos.
Malik.
Into ghettos.
Library.
Into ghettos.
Point.
Into ghettos.
Congo.
Into ghettos.
Boystown Grandi.
Into ghettos.
You understand? Settlement in Grandi.
Into ghettos.
Right, so the same Jews, that is where we reside right now. You follow? This is from 1490 something, 1478, somewhere around there. 1480, you understand?
Yeah.
All that time. So this is what they know to do. To push us into a place where we'll be facing a lot of hardship. And you'll find that we live in a cockroach because we live in close together, and plus in a state, in the place where it is disgusting because there's lack of they call it amenities and certain services that they find, like Flint, Michigan, for example. Dirty water, all these things would frustrate people, and plus they're weakening them physically. Right? There's a psychological and war tactic to destroy the image and the health of our people, the mindset of our people, the ability to really function. Right? And that is how they continue to keep us at bay, or keep us, looking up to them and funding their society, as the scripture says. Right? When we occupy in these things, we'll continue to have their society running. So we must come back to taking our abilities and our strengths by learning what the Lord said to do, so that we have the mindset and the spirit of the Lord, so we can build our communities. That is the only way it's going to happen. Read on, Baba Kisha.
In the same year, Jews in Castile were forced into ghettos,
Right.
separated from Christians, and the Inquisition expanded to Seville. A mass exodus of conversos followed.
It's a mass amount of people. So you find where we live in together in a large amount of areas is always our mind state, and try and come out or separate and find and try and do something on this side. That is in the 12 tribes, the 9.5 tribes, or the 10 tribes that the scripture would say, right? But it's 9.5 tribes would come across on this side of the world, right? Because of little pull and tug and little fight that we face, and it says, but we come across on this side and keep your laws. You'll see that written in the scriptures, it say that. Right? That is paraphrasing what it's saying. Read on.
In 1481, 20,000 conversos confessed to heresy, hoping to avoid execution. Inquisitors decreed that their patience required them to name other heretics.
Right, so the Inquisitors, they wasn't satisfied with them telling no conversos. Right, they say, here on, he want everything. It's the oppressor, he was satisfied again. He want the most amount of destruction. He come like what you call it? Like you ever see a dog, you follow that the Realm Street, and when you look at it, you follow, or it have what you call mad blood. So the dog have mad blood, and it rush and they just go looking to bite everything. That is the oppressor. Right? So he wasn't satisfied with that turned to converse. He say, one, you follow? I want you all that was doing heresy and to name the other heretics of them. One point them out, you understand? One sell them out basically.
So that, yes.
Good true.
800 tips.
800 tips, that is it. Correct is right. That is that same mind state you follow, and that not bodily. But the scripture talking about, you understand? When you're seeking love, you're going to try to fix the solution. Right? You ain't going to point out, oh, if you have to suffer for your people and them, you follow, that is what you're doing, right? And this is a system where they was suffering, you follow, wrongfully as heretics. But the only reason they cannot do that is because we are sinning against the Lord. You know what I mean? But all that, nobody can touch you. Always remember that. And because of the ways it was taught or the way it was brought up, with just being loose and not being aware and cognizant of your sin against the Lord, or how much he hated, like eating your crab and them kind of that you making some kind of excuse for, that bringing rapings, that bringing murders, that bringing corruption, that bringing the ability to starve our people. When you see how people starving in Venezuela and Central America and all these different places in them, you're one crab. You know that you making an excuse for on your pigtail that you so love, let's bring about that. You follow until it's come right, circle back and touch you up, right in your skin. You follow because that is the thing you love. You love destruction. You don't love righteousness. You don't love justice. You follow, so right, the same thing I'm saying, as the scripture say, your own wickedness will correct you. You understand? And that is what all people facing right now. Alright? Give me Revelation chapter 17, verses 5 to 6, Babu Kusha. Alright? Babu Kusha, yeah, go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 5.
Right.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great.
Right, so this, go ahead, so okay.
The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
The Spanish Inquisition is what?
The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
The Catholic Church is what?
The mother of harlots and abomination of the earth.
The Christian Church.
The mother of harlots and abomination of the earth.
The Muslim Mosque.
The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Every religious and so-called black leadership on the face of the planet outside of the ICPK is what?
The mother of harlots and abomination of the earth.
Because that is the mind state that our people in. You follow? Every other society on the face of the planet, that is the mind state in, because that is what is exalted in the society right now. Not the ways of the Lord. Read on, verse 6.
Verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua.
Right, pause right there. Right, so the same woman they're talking about here is the same harlot. You follow? That woman is the Edomite empire today, the Caucasian race, the empire today. Drunken with our blood. That is why they can't get enough for that slave labor. They can't get enough for you understand? Making sure that you don't talk up to massa. And when you've been stopped for a traffic incident, most of the times it's not a traffic incident. They're looking to take out, to sniff out your blood. Right? Because that is the insatiable lust they have in them. A lust to murder. You understand? A lust to do all these different things. And that is why you see it happening on the face of the planet. Because the mother of harlots, we look into those, somebody with the saints. Blood of the saints, give me that again.
And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
Drunken, you understand? It's like they see the man drinking and he's stumbling over the cases and he can't get enough liquor. That is America today. That is the Caucasian race today. Read on.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua.
With the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. Our brothers on it that stand strong. There were a lot of brothers that died, probably trying to do the right thing, right? And in the wrong situation, the wrong place, the wrong mind state, right? These brothers and them, they drunk with the martyrs of Christ, right? Read on.
And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
Wonder with great admiration. And I leave out a part, right? The part is the men and them that they killed before. All of Christ's disciples that they killed before, that they persecuted before, jumping with the blood when they kill them by taking off their head. And all these different things hanging them upside down. And all these different they full with. Because that's what they've been doing to us. Coming up to the prophets ages upon ages. And not forgetting the most important one they do. On a yearly basis, on a daily basis. The genocide of our race. The abortion clinic. Planned Parenthood.
Right.
They're drunken with the blood of the saints. You follow? Because we don't know which child could have the opportunity to formulate the government, the righteous government of the Lord. To flip this world upside down and flip it right side up, I should say. You know what I mean? Right back to good governance. That is what going on. They're drunk with our blood right now, but the Lord has something for them. We done?
Verse 7.
Right. Slack now, that is it. Slack, right? Go on to Revelation chapter 18, verse 21, Babakusha.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying,
Right.
Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
Right, so with that great stone, all the things that they did to us, all the atrocities, all that, the Lord said he go pay double to them. That big stone you follow, they're going to throw down Babylon. That is how Babylon go fall in a great and mighty way, a great and terrible way. 10 times worse than what it is they're doing to us right now. You see all the atrocities they do on the face of the planet, within every country. That is how Babylon going to get thrown down. We done?
Verse 22. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee.
So there no more Beyonce, there no more Jay-Z, there no more Cook Franklin, there no more TD Jakes, there no more Seinfeld, and no more entertainment, no more Hollywood. You understand? No more The Rock, no more WWE. You understand? All of that gonna be thrown down. You follow no more musicians to give people and them in some type of filthy state of mind, some soft mindset to where we accepting or we taking a light around these deceivers. You understand? Around the devils that the Bible speaks of. Read on.
And no more craftsmen.
No more craftsmen. Nobody to design war weapons. And no more laboratories. You understand? No more of that. The Lord going to throw it down in a big way. If the Lord going to shame them in a big fashion. Like how America have the biggest military system in the face of the planet and they feel they're untouched. They're in space right now and they have the Space Force and they feel they can do something to the Lord going to pull it down in a big way. Read on.
Of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee.
Right, so whatever craft that they use to build up the society and keep that bubble, you understand that mental bubble that they have, they're not going to throw it down all together.
Right.
That'll be a thing of the past, you know what I mean? Yeah, then be and all, and I don't get his son say by, you understand, they was ready by. That's like how coronavirus shut down the whole planet. What does it say, a little bug, a little virus?
Right.
Same way the Lord gone, you know what I mean? Take them apart as shirts. We done?
And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee.
Right, so there no more work going on, nobody grinding nothing. If all that no evil works continue to run the society no more. That trained down. Alright? We done?
Verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee.
Right, so no more orgies, you understand? No more, no more stripper parties, no more, we call it hot girl summer.
Right.
You understand? None of that no more. You follow? All the bridegroom, all the wickedness that taking place behind closed doors and all this adultery and all this wickedness, no more gay parties. Of course, no more child molestation.
Right.
You understand? And rapings, right? No more at all. Read on.
For thy merchants were the great men of the earth.
Right, so the merchants, the other nations, and it was the great men on the face of the planet. They exalt, they call it, Kim Jong-un and the owner of Samsung. The following years, the great merchants on the face of the earth, all of them go get you down. Read on.
For by their sorceries were all nations deceived.
So by the sorceries of the so-called oppressor, you follow? You're going to tell everybody, well, I the man in charge. I go make, you understand, trade up and think that I go lock off trade if anybody decide, you know? They go come wrong with anything. The Spanish Inquisition is how I go make sure and set up certain things. That is why they could use it for Jim Crow laws and all these different systems today. You follow? So all them sorceries, all our witchcraft we place in the people and beating that wicked ideology of religion and not actual biblical standards or righteousness, that will be no more at all. You follow? You go shame them and bring it to light. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all was slain upon the earth.
Right, so of her. You understand? In America and all the ways of the Caucasian, of course, you find the blood of the prophets on them. Right? If it looks sharp and they get a chance to kill one away, of course, and that's what they're accustomed doing. They were doing that before. Right? Montezuma and things like that, he was in the mind of our brother, I would say. Of course, not being in the right state of mind he would have been in. But they probably would have won that war. Right? But at that time, I'm taking it easy on the devil and not understand that they're not supposed to trust your enemy. Because like iron rusted, so it is wickedness, that's what he will produce. That is the only thing that could ooze out of his system. That is what these other races are about, and why you need to separate from them. Why you need to come back to your power, because they are about your destruction in every subtle way that they could find until it becomes surface. And then you're now seeing 2 or 3 sisters coming out and talking about it in Trinidad, but that is not something strange, especially to us here, because we know that these atrocities happening, and we've been hearing stories about that, right? And I can't remember the number. I think it's between either 1 out of 5 young ladies get molested or raped, right? Get touched up, or it could be less. It could be in a society. I can't remember exactly where the region either, right? But probably within Europe, between the span of Europe, the Western Hemisphere, that is the figure. That is how dread it is. Either molested in some way, either been touched or something like that, or actually been penetrated. It's either the number is that dread. Either 1 in 3 or 1 in 5. That is how real it is. Right? And that's probably what is reported. Maybe have way more than that. Right? It's like how Joe Biden, one of them who like children, always talking to people and kissing people, woman and thing.
And Slovakia.
Right?
Only just a few days ago, then recently they discovered that some women came out and exposed the monks in Benedict Church. Right. In Trinidad. Correct. Right? Because 3 of them, and they were all raped by the
same man.
By the monks in Benedict.
Correct. We probably go. Right, we could probably do is put that same link that Officer McLeod did with the video and put it in the comments now. You do that afterward. You know what I mean? Make sure that you all can have a reference. We're not talking just off our mind. We're talking the actual facts. This is what's taking place. And we're not coming for no other reason or some type of garbage. We want to rule. We're telling you straight. We don't want no equality. We don't want no gift. You understand? We don't want no money, no reparations. We want to rule. We the only people that the Lord gave the blueprint to rule. What we must understand is how to rule well, how to rule right. You follow? Because we don't know no type of ownership right now. That is what we as a people need. That is the only thing that going to fix our communities. This needs to be spread all over the place. And follow ISCPK, all the channels that we have. Remember Monday, you have the history class with Officer Makakobal, right? I'm holding down for right now, tonight, right? Then we have on the Tuesday, we have Officer Sawapiala. On the Wednesday, we have Officer Matkoyak, all right? On Thursdays, General Mahaiman, that is in headquarters, where he go and break down. There's the wisdom of the ancient coming out. Where he'll break down the scriptures and help you understand all these different things in history and things that are taking place today and tomorrow. These things are them that the Lord is warning us against, and what we need to be doing in these last days before we finally destroy this entire empire. But we must be salvaged from that, because if we ain't come out of it, what will happen is we go face the destruction along with them. Right? Read on verse 25. Oh, shucks, that last one. Verse 24, right. Okay, reach over to Baruch chapter 4, verse 6, Babakasha. You read it from verse 6 on to 11. Go on. Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. Because, slap here, just to bring a little bit of insight just before we close, right? This is important because you must understand that the Lord is not a wicked father. As you were saying earlier, I know how long whatever the case is that I get to see which part of the class, right? But the Lord saying that he was not a wilderness to us. He was not a dark land. He was always a righteous father. You know what I mean? That we could come to, but we had to have the right mindset and deal with him. We can't say, you understand, he's Lord's and we can do what we want, right? That is the wickedness of the oppressor, you know, teaching us to be stupid, basically, teaching us to be simple. Right? And not actually being wise and understanding people as we once were. And these other races, and they didn't know that. They always try to separate us from that. Alright, but Babu Gosha, Salak, give me.
Yeah, can.
Right.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 6.
So true.
Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction,
right?
But because you moved the Most High to wrath.
Right, so we was moved, we were sold to the nations, right? To the Edomites, the Caucasian race, the Chinese, and all these different places that we was under some form of captivity and under today, right? In the jobs we work and all these different things, and barely making ends meet and getting killed and poison and all these different things, and having all these we call it sicknesses and diseases that has plagued us, and you don't really see they talk about, but it rampant with through our communities. We're suffering as a people, right? We was moved, you understand? We was sold to their nation under the influence to give us to do what they want, not because, you understand, the Lord is an unrighteous judge, because if we move him to wrath and he wasn't understanding, he was just contributing to have, we call it all manner of wickedness. And as we're seeing, he was looking at the things in him and wasn't doing anything about it too. Right? So we move the Lord to wrath. Read on, Baba Kisha.
But because ye moved the Most High to wrath,
Right.
ye were delivered unto the enemies.
Right. So we was delivered to the hand of our enemies because all of us get one state at a time. Because when we get lax as black people, that is what has happened. Right? You forget exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing, and that is what has happened. Read on.
Verse 7. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils.
Right, so how the hell we go sacrifice the devils? And the Lord created us, you know what I mean? And He gave us the things in them that we need, the instructions and the ability, the wherewithal to do it. Right? The land, everything like that. He gave it to us, everything that we needed. But instead, what we do is play mad and sacrifice the devils. That's what the scripture says. So all these other races that we're talking about, them is who we're sacrificing to, and trimming we ways to seek love from devils. Read on.
And not to the Most High power.
And not to the Most High power where it belong. Read on.
Verse 8. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you.
Right. So we forget the everlasting power that raised us up, that gave us all these different things, and then throughout the time continue to pull us out of the hole when we ourselves put them in it, of course. Read on.
Verse 9. For when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion.
Right, so we group the motherland, Jerusalem. Of course, that is where the leaders, the prophets and them would have been, right, and warning us and showing us, you know, how we're supposed to be operating, how we're supposed to be thinking. Right, so we grieve like a father, we grieve the father and the mother that nurse us up. Right, so the scripture talking about like that now, you know what I mean? Grieve the motherland, because we're not in the land right now, we're not in Jerusalem. There are devils in the land right now.
Right.
Read on. Papa Kisha.
The Most High power had brought upon me great mourning.
Right, the Most High brought upon our land, our homeland, great mourning. Read on.
Verse 10. For I saw the captivity of my sons and my daughters.
Right, so you see, of course, us being naked, stripped on a pole, getting painted on, being molested, and all manner of evil you see happening, right? And we've been sold for wine, and this as the scripture say, and what actually happened in history. Read on.
Which the everlasting brought upon them.
Which the everlasting brought upon us, not by him actually saying this is exactly what I wanted to do, but by being at the hands of wicked people, of people that the mentality is completely evil. That is what is excite them on a daily basis. These are the things that they produce. They follow evil fruit. You know what I mean? That is the mercy that we, not mercy, remember that. The mercy is from the Lord. That is why we're not destroyed completely.
Right.
You understand? But we're under the authority of evil people on the face of the planet.
Right.
Alright? Read on.
Verse 11. With joy did I nourish them, but send them away with weeping and mourning.
Alright, so with joy, nourish us and everything was straight, boom, boom, boom. But with weeping now, we get put across in 1616. And in the Encomiendo system, in 1480, all these different things, right? I mean, of course, if I would see my son or my brother, you understand, my nephew, thing like that, and his knee limbs and him cut off and bleeding, of course, I could be weeping, you understand? I could be in heavy mourning, right? And that is what going on with our leadership today, our people. That is what we have to understand as our entire race. That is what the Lord put all of us in slavery, not because Daniel was a good man, you understand, or Meshach, and them was righteous brothers. He put all of us to help us understand that we had to take care of our entire race. Right. So a man, you know, me also stuck here, see all on the sidelines. Even if you don't want to do exactly what we do now, you think you don't want to do it, because the Lord is the man who is sanctioned that. Come in here and bring your, you understand, bring your fruits, bring your talents and things like that, that you can help build the body and get instructed in terms of what you're supposed to be doing. Because right now, what you're doing is just in a destructive part, because that's all you know. That's all the society taught you to do. You understand? So that is how you fix the society if you really want that. Right? And that's what the Lord looking for. Enough people to be on that, to actually care, then this whole thing can end. Alright, and with that, we pass the class about the prison officer Michael.
We are the ISPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Hanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be solicited only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21. And Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10. It means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. The upcoming Holy Convocation is the memorial blowing of the trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month on the Hebrew calendar, right? Which will be equivalent to Thursday, September 17th, in the year 2020. You can find this in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 24 to 25. Remind Akim and Aquatium to check on social media, such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on, for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which include black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headbands or scarf. And with that, we say, imagine. We're going to turn and face the east. And we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Wadash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Ayah, Mashamayim, Natanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kawawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawatinawa, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, our shine, Mayan, Rai, Laka, Salakia, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwat, Wa'ala, Wa'taparat, Iwalamium, Aman.
In English, what we just said was, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. We're going to say the Hakak, or the power, in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bawakasha, the Tandanawa, Hakak, Narapaa, Kalmakala, Kalmadawa, Hakak, Lataha, Atamazarium, Hakak, Lahakwayam, Hamatayam, Hakak, Ayrakawat, Atamayala, Lagarashan, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Tawada Aman. In the English, what we just said was Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. We're going to say the blessings in the Hebrew. Rakata Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Makala, Wa Alahayam, Matazabia, Alawapiana, Ha Alawapiam, Ha Saraniam, Ha Patazayaniam, Ha Kayaliam, Wa Akwatiam, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, to Wala. In English, bless Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General, generals, captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. We're going to set up the ISUPK curses, alright? Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The treasure.
The treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy
To
sanctuary.
enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and
And
curses.
punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
Court system.
The prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope, Islam,
Christianity, Egyptology, militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan
Nation,
Nation, Skinheads,
Gay movement, Lesbian movement,
Spies,
Workers of Witchcraft, NASA Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, Open up the internet, and the airwaves, cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirits of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words to all the planet earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro to the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you always. So be it.
We're going to say the blessed Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak Lanawa, Vayashala, Babayat, Sapariel, Barak, Rapah, Magan, Hagan.
Commanding General Yahan. All the generals, all the captains, officers, troopers, sisters, students, Shamka, Kaya, Yapa, Para, Kinti and family.
Commanding General Generals, Captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children, students, brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth. Have mercy upon all the destroyed of Israel. Lord, have mercy upon all of us and our families. Next one.
Commanding General Generals, Captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children. All the destroyed of Israel. And all those fighting to come to the truth.
All the brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
All the brothers and sisters in ISPK.
Francois family. Wrong family. Zion. Wesleyan. Daniela. Jamelia. Ashida. Angel. Trisha. Nima. Khadijah. Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Tawada Aman.
What we just now said in the English was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it.
Sir, men of Israel, let's give the teacher a one courtesy salute. Amajam Shabbat, Amajam, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai Brakatah. Yad Mata. Men of Israel, let's give the sisters online a one courtesy salute. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yahweh Shemai Latam Ba'ashem Yoshai. Yad Mata. Class dismissed.